Hey everyone, how's it going? Joining you from this random obscure location here at Life Center in our Life Center break room, um, which many of you probably didn't know was an actual thing, but that's what we're doing today. So I wanted to just cover two quick things with you guys before the weekend, and one is just a shout out to what happened last weekend during Love Week, and then also a preview for what's coming up this weekend as we do with these videos. So the first thing is the Love Week recap. So last week we celebrated and we also participated in two activities that supported kids and people who serve kids in our city, and we jumped in and we just actively loved people through taking on and doing tasks that revolve around emphasizing activity. Love is doing is kind of the theme that we emphasized throughout that weekend. And so we built as a church over 4,023 Bite to Go meal kits for kids, and just the 4th through 6th grade classroom alone contributed to building almost over 2,000 of those. So half of those meal kits were built by 4th through 6th graders. So that's just an incredible thing that they got to participate in, and also see how they can bring value to our community, how they can make a difference, how they can use just their time to serve kids in our community, and use their lives to make a difference. So that was one big fun thing that happened. And then another thing that happened was that we wrote and decorated and colored and did all the fun stuff with all those thank you cards. We put together over 625 thank you cards that went out just today to social workers all throughout our city. And Krista Lack, who's our community engagement coordinator, delivered those, and as she delivered those, had some amazing emotional and just incredible responses to people receiving those. Multiple people she passed them out to started crying in just appreciation for what it means to just be appreciated and in their role. The many social service workers in our area don't hear enough that what they do matters, and so we got to communicate that to them from the topic of love is doing, and showing them that they matter not just to Life Center, but they matter to Jesus, and that is so important. So our kids got to do that this past weekend. They made a difference in our city, and I hope that we will be able to build on that as we continue to jump into the fall and look for new opportunities to serve people throughout our city and encourage kids to find creative ways to love people around them. This weekend, we're going to be finishing out our series called We Are Loop, and we're emphasizing the last topic in this series is direction. The first two weekends we looked at identity, who we are, purpose, what we do, and direction is where we are headed. And so this is a big component that also, as we've said in the past, builds on the topic of identity and who we are. So what I wanted to emphasize with the topic this weekend is emphasizing that where we are going is largely determined by who we are following. And every week we emphasize this in our mission statement, that we want kids to find and follow Jesus, that we want their lives to be about Jesus. But how do we do that? And it's really obscure unless we create what the Bible reminds us of, is that we follow Jesus in community, that we follow Jesus with people. And so we need to be surrounding ourselves with people who are pursuing Jesus, being a part of a group, being a part of a community who's a part of a bigger story is ultimately what being a Christ follower is all about, is that we're doing what Jesus commands, and we're doing it together, and we're learning together, we're challenging ourselves together, and we're growing closer. And so our direction is determined by who we're following, and we're going to make sure to emphasize that this weekend and encourage these kids to think, who are you following? Whose voice is having significant impact in your life right now? And is that voice having a significant impact for a good reason, or is it significantly impacting you for a negative reason? And then really reassuring and reaffirming that Jesus has something big for us. We need to choose it, and we need to live in it, and we need to do that together. And so encourage kids to continue to come back. Encourage kids to bring friends with them and find community. And that's why we do the small group structure that we do. That's why we do everything that we do here at Life Centers, because we want people to find community in following Jesus. And so I hope that will be emphasized and clear as we engage kids this weekend. So that's going to be our focus. One more big thing to talk about that's coming up, and this is specifically for you and your role as a leader. A lot of the things that we do and that we discuss on a weekend are things that are assumed. We have some protocols, we have some things in place that are very good for kids, but there's a lot of vague in how we lead kids to Jesus, and we want to be better at providing you with clarity on what it is that you are accomplishing and what are the wins in what you're doing as you lead kids to Jesus. So we're going to have all kids training on September 23rd. It's a Sunday, and we're going to get more information out to you, but I want you to set that date aside because we're going to do a training weekend on preparing you with some vital information that will be helpful for you in your role as you lead kids towards Jesus. So that's coming up. Put that in your calendar, write it down, because it's going to be a valuable thing for preparing us as we head into the fall for leading kids to Jesus. All right, that's all I have. Looking forward to this weekend, and I'll talk to you shortly. Bye.